Later that evening, an old man arrives at the murder site, searching for his relatives.
看到我还在我妈妈压着，他就拉我出来。我妈死的眼睛很大，我就拉妈妈起身，我们跑了，起身。那个老人家说：“妈妈死了，要跑了。”我的父亲睡在旁边，我的弟弟在下面，最小的弟弟给他擦，死在前面，全家人晚上全部都没有了。
In this one village, the Japanese murder some 650 people in cold blood. Just 50 kilometers away, in another village, 6-year-old Chung Loi loses most of his family on a day he can never forget.
是这样啊，就是分批啊，一班人带出去，就叫你们蹲下来了。我母亲就在我左边这边那个。包住我的弟弟最小的那个。
Chung Loi's youngest brother is less than a year old.
他抓着我的弟弟啊，跑在伤口的后尾，那个都气刺那个我的弟弟的肚子那边跌下来，那肠全部流出来了，但是还没有死啊，就是还是一直哭，就是现在后面背后沉过来，这边走出来。可能给他拖拉那个刀，那个在压住背上嘛，他压住了把那个刀嘛，那整个人倒下去了哦，就是这边还中一刀，这边又中一刀，中到2刀，那手那时是不知道阴凉了，那是
Incredibly, Chung Loi and his 4-year-old brother survive. But this wave of savage executions which begin in the south rapidly engulfs most of Malaya. Massacres take place in many different places, most of them unrecorded. In the 1990s, a few of the Japanese veterans who had served in Malaya spoke openly about what made them kill innocent civilians.
およそ10分間走ったところのごもりの中へ飛び取った指揮官がそれが400人ぐらいの中国の人を前にして僕ら兵隊が60人ぐらいそれで言うね今からこの中国の人を殺す。
According to Miyake, if the godlike Japanese emperor ordered you to perform a task, however terrible, there was no choice but to obey.
我々は何も敵意がないので殺意が起きない。僕たちも人間だからな。ただ今より大元帥陛下の命によりこれを殺す。そして2人ほど将校が軍刀で首を落とした。それを僕は見た。首が落としたら血柱がな2メートル3メートルぐらい吹き上がる。400人ばかりの人を穴の中に埋めたけれどもおそらく半分ぐらいはまだ死んでいない人がいたと僕は思う。懸命にされた。
Even today, the precise number of victims of the Sukching in Singapore and Malaya is not known. Sources suggest the death toll may be as high as 100,000 men, women and children. In Singapore alone, the Japanese killed at least 25,000 innocent people.
我那么一直不了解日本为什么这样。我们一家人不是战场跟你抵抗的，我们是无辜了，我们死都不知道我为什么会死。 日本的时候那个是很野蛮的生产，没有人道。
In 1942, after a few months, the killing frenzy begins to subside. Now, the Japanese turn their attention to remolding Malaya as part of the Japanese Empire. The Japanese occupation of Malaya begins with mass murder. As this killing spree slowly comes to an end, the Japanese impose the severest discipline on all Malaya. Anyone defying the new administration, or looting or stealing, pays the highest price.
They had 1 or 2 chaps caught stealing, chop off the head, put on a plate, put on table in the Kampa market. This is what you get if you steal.
If you betray the Japanese administration, and then the result would be kapara potong. They say kapara potong. Everybody is afraid of that word kapara potong. Means we will behead you if you try to betray the Japanese. Kapara potong no!
Everywhere, the Japanese set up prominent sentry posts, a visible declaration that they are the new masters. Since even the humblest Japanese guard represents the semi-divine emperor in Tokyo, so it is compulsory to make the lowest of bows as they pass the new posts. This soon turns into a humiliating ritual.
I didn't know that I had to bow because there was no one who told us this. And when I passed by, the guy shouted, "Hurrah!" And I turned back and I saw this fella with his gun in hand, but as a sentry. And when I went to him, he just left me. He didn't tell me what mistake I've done, and he demonstrated that I should bow. So I knew that was a mistake, and I bowed.
Malaya will be remolded down to the smallest detail, and that includes time itself. The Japanese calendar is adopted, and overnight 1942 becomes 2602. All clocks and watches are set to Tokyo time, a powerful symbol of subjugation. With its time and calendars reset, Malaya becomes Malai, a province in the vast Japanese empire. Under Japanese rule, education will become a way of reshaping hearts and minds. By May 1942, most schools have reopened, but the Japanese expunge any trace of the old colonial curriculum.
The Japanese has got one thing in mind. They have got seishin, they have got spirit. They want to embed it into us. They don't want us to be lazy. You have to be punctual. You have got to be strong. They call it seishin.
In the new Nippon Go schools, pupils must follow an exacting routine from early morning.
We had to all assemble at the field, and first we had to sing the national anthem, the Kimigayo, and then raise the Japanese flag, and after that we went through the physical exercise for moving our hands and legs and all that, getting the blood circulating around.
You have got to do this radio taiso, that is drill by radio. The drill is very simple. What do you call the free hand exercise? You stretch your arm, you stretch your leg, you bend down and up. That's all the Japanese would ask us to do.
On special occasions, all children must praise the Japanese emperor, declaring the equivalent of "Long live the king."
Tenno hika, banzai, banzai.
The Japanese language, which is considered sacred, becomes a vital tool of indoctrination. By learning it, every schoolchild will acquire the Japanese spirit, founded on discipline and loyalty to the emperor.
We were young at that time, 12 years old. It's easy to pick up the Japanese language and the characters, and you have got to sing all the patriotic Japanese songs. 見よと海の空開けて旭日高く輝けば天地の正義はつらつと希望は踊る大屋島
For some children, attendance at the Nippon Go schools is not just motivated by a love of learning.
We went because we love Japanese language, Nippongo. We went there because every student was given 2 cigarette tins of rice and we are given a packet of sugar. We are given that privilege.
In the new Malay, you must grow up fast. Zainul Aziz attends school for just 8 months. Then, at the tender age of 13, he must look for a job.
We had to work. Even you are 12, 13 years old, you had to work. When I started working, I did not know when the war will end. So you continue working and cooperate with the Japanese. That does not mean that you collaborate with them.
For some, there is no choice. All over occupied Malaya, Japanese soldiers snatch young women and girls from villages to serve their needs. These tragic individuals are called the comfort women. The term comfort woman is a euphemism. These women have become sex slaves.
日本兵は200人ぐらいで中隊ということになるんですが、中隊規模の、日本軍が駐屯している場所にはもうほとんど必ず慰安所を作ってたんですね。そうすると各地に散らばっていくときにマレーシアからもマレー半島からも、連れていくということで別に中国系に限る必要はありませんからそれこそ可愛い女性がいると、強引に連れて行っちゃうということは各地でやったと思います。
One of them is 25-year-old Rosalind Saw, who in a unique interview recorded in the 1990s reveals for the first time the horrors of her sexual enslavement.
They come the lorry, you know, all closed, that cloth, that green cloth, all closed. They close your eyes first, they push you inside the car. So many girls inside there, you know. To sit down to no place, I have to stand. The car go like that. Then I talk slowly. I say, hey, you all, where you all come from? Shh.
The Japanese take Rosalind to the Tonglok Hotel in Penang, which has been turned into a comfort station. In other words, a military rape center. She is stripped of her identity and renamed Hanako. In the comfort station, Hanako finds herself working with 15 other sex slaves, Chinese, Malay, and Eurasians.
Everybody got one room, sure, our room. We cannot make friends. We must not talk to each other, cannot. You stay in your room, I stay in my room.
For 3 years, Rosalind endures daily multiple rape.
Morning, 20 person. Afternoon, 20. At night, 20. One day, 60 men.
Not many of these comfort women recover completely. Few have come forward to share their stories, as Rosalind did. They are not the only Asians enslaved by the Japanese. Soon, thousands will be tricked into working as slave laborers on the notorious Death Railway. As they consolidate their hold on Malaya, the Japanese turn their attention to an even bigger prize, British India, the Raj. The military planners of the Imperial Japanese Army conclude that the best way to reach their target is by using existing rail links in Southeast Asia. But one section of the planned route has not been built. So, to reach the Indian border, a new 415-kilometer rail link must be constructed through rugged jungle terrain in Thailand and Burma, and at breakneck speed.